Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kult, Divinity Lost, the Heartland. Before we begin our story tonight, or today, it's tonight somewhere, but it's today where we are, or where I am, I would like to thank Helmgast for this fantastic game, and I want to thank you out there live on Twitch or watching us later on YouTube. You are the reason we do this. That's why we play these games, because they're fun to play, and we know they're fun for the audience to watch as well. I also want to thank these wonderful players for joining my story of the Heartland. So let's meet them now and kind of catch up. I know it's only been a week, but it seems like it's been forever. And usually I tell them, let's do a quick introduction. But today you can take a sentence or two and give us an update as to what's going on with your character right now. And I'm just going to kind of go around the board. So let's start with Sabella, the occultist.
Wow. Where am I? I am still at the Blue Rose, tending books, sipping some tea, playing with my cat.
And who are you, Sabella?
I am the occultist.
You have to introduce yourself too.
Oh, hi, I'm Krista.
And say hi. It's okay. It's my fault. I've already trained them to some other thing, and then today I go and pull the whammy on them. So
you really did.
You have to forgive
That's okay.
me. How is Sabella and I believe Daisy were at the end of their conversation when they last met. What's Sabella thinking right now? Is she in any frame of mind? She just curious.
She's pretty curious. She kind of wants to get to the bottom of this. She definitely knows that her dream was attached to the murder, and
oh, that's right.
I think she's gonna go maybe do some investigating.
Nice. Well, and then that, of course, takes us next door and to the person who was standing there with her last we spoke, and that's Jaylee. Joy,
hello.
matey.
Yes, I am Jaylee. I am playing Daisy, and she is the veteran.
What's Daisy thinking at this particular moment? She's had a little bit more insight than Sabella.
She's thinking about time some like this happened in the small town. It was only a matter of time. She's ready to.
She knew it, right? She's not
hunt
surprised.
It down. Yeah, she's not very.
Daisy's not surprised at all. She knew this shit was coming.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's go to our friend across the pond, as they say, Reese. How are you today?
Hey. Yeah, I'm good. So, yeah, as just introduced, I'm Reese. I'm playing Dr. Robert Butterwick. He's was meant to be a low-key guy, but he seems to be dragged into the spotlight by every single person now. And he's just been... is seduced the right word?
Yeah.
Or charmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Beguiled.
Beguiled, yeah, that's a good one.
Beguiled,
by
that's
likely a local neighborhood Tanith, which seemed to squeeze him for information. And there's also rumors. Are they true? Are they not? We'll have to find out.
We'll have to keep watching for that one, huh? I'm going to fix Tanith's frame here real quick so I can see him. And, all right, so then I'm going to go back down across the board and over to Tamara, who had to kind of do a little bit of jumping around, trying to gather up some information last week. How's it going, Tamara?
It's good. Hey, guys, I'm Tamara. I play Sammy, the Seeker. And I'm just coming back from the creepy barn now, heading over to the municipal building. I'm considering telling the sheriff a bit of my secrets.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, we'll have to hang around to watch that. So then we'll go right to Matthew. How's Matthew this morning?
He's good this morning. So I'm Matthew. I play Tanith, the prophet, and I'm currently just exiting the municipal building after having a nice chat with my new friend, the doctor.
With the doctor, yeah. And that leaves us with Dan. How's Dan doing today?
Good. I play Deputy Sheriff Lane Clark, the detective. I am not looking forward to go and talk to the Housers, but that really seems like something I have to do. Lane is not.
Ray was a bit of a dick, wasn't he?
Yeah. Lane is really not wanting this all to be something super creepy and is slowly having to accept that.
Starting to think that it's a little bit more than just a simple murder. Oh, if it had only been just that easy.
Yeah.
Thank you, players. Thanks. It sounds like everyone is ready to take a look and see what happens in this next episode of The Heartland.
Yeah.
Almost back. Just adjusting some levels here.
Get them levels.
Right. The body of a murdered teenage girl was found on display along country roads, and within a few hours, an entire community is aware, and a handful of them have a closer and a much darker glimpse at what may or may not be going on. Last week, the body was taken back to the municipal building where Dr. Robert Butterwick is still waiting his chance to do a complete exam, if I remember correctly, after having had a one-on-one conversation with Tanith, where they both learned a little more about each other. Daisy and Sabella have just finished their conversation about the morning's events and I believe are about to embark on an investigation of their own. Samantha has been able to get a few clues in the local events, but gained some insight as a stalker seems to be claiming some sort of responsibility for the murder and has promised another. Tanith is beginning to see an underlying... Oh, boom. Hang on a second. Tanith is beginning to see... Yeah, I know, my frames just got flipped. An underlying current of power within Providence. Will he find all the directions of all of its varied sources? And Deputy Clark is trying to find answers and hold the community together at the same time. Can a real suspect be found? He has to prod deep into the local power structure, which, as it seems, prefers, much like the illusion itself, to remain hidden. And you guys were right in that the last time we were here, as I am about to rearrange everybody's pictures under the right names, they were right a moment ago. We have at the front door of the municipal building coming out is Tanith, and pulling up in front is Samantha.
So I'm guessing I'd see him.
Yeah, you pull right up to the front. It's like a Main Street, Old Town America, where you pull right up to the front of the building. He's coming out the front door, just as you're probably getting out of your car.
Yeah, so I kind of like jog up to him and I'd just be like, hey, sir, just a second, please.
Yeah, sure. What's going on?
You were down on Old State Line earlier, right?
So are you.
She said, she'll just kind of nod and she'll go, that's true. I just have a quick question for you if you have a second or two.
About what?
You mentioned God earlier.
Yes.
And she's like, do you think this has something to do with religion?
It has something to do with a religion, that's for sure. What do you do?
And she'll kind of look at you. She was like, I'm just a reporter.
A reporter? Are you local?
Recently.
Okay. You see, look, I'm Tanith. You got a pad on you?
Yes. So she's been kind of like jotting things down as she spoke, and
He says, here, give it here for a sec.
she'll hand it over.
You'll flip it over and I'll draw the symbol that I saw on the body. And then I'll hand it back to her and I'll go, research that.
She'll definitely stare at it for a moment and kind of nod her head. Yeah, definitely. Do you think this has something to do with it?
Oh, yeah. And while you're at it, what do you know of the Church of Light?
Would you know anything about that?
It's the Light of Life Church.
So, Light of Life Church.
And it's the local church.
Oh,
Non-denominational Christian.
Yeah, she wouldn't know too much. So she'd look at you and she'd go, I've seen the building a few times, but other than that.
Maybe you should look at them too.
I definitely will.
Just a quick query. How old is Sam?
She is 23.
23. Ah.
That's what we'll go with.
You should come and drop by my tent for I do yoga, have a cup of tea, we could have a chat.
Yoga's not really my thing, but I'll definitely get back to you on what I find on the symbol.
It's good for the soul. It'd help you.
And she'll just kind of nod her head, like she's kind of thinking about it. And then she'll look at you. She's like, you didn't see the sheriff there by any chance?
No, just the dock inside. But yeah, look for that symbol and have a look at the Light of Life.
She'll nod her head before finally heading inside.
Okay, take care. Look after your kids.
So, Dr. Butterwick, as you were about to turn around and get back to your concerns, you did hear another car pull up and a car door outside. So you suspect that somebody is coming in, and it's confirmed when you hear the front door of the building open up.
You just sighs. Oh, we really should get a lock. And he'll turn around, preparing for somebody to walk through the door, just kind of stood staring at it.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple building. So when you walk in, Samantha, there's just a little small front room. And then you see a hallway that goes straight back. There's a couple of office doors, but you can see that the light is on coming from the room in the back, and it says medical exam on one of those old plates over the door.
Yeah, she definitely approached the door. She'd knock before entering, though.
Come in.
Hey, Doc, is the sheriff around by any chance?
He left about 20 minutes ago. He said he had something to do.
She'll look at him and she'll go, do you know anything new about what happened here?
Pretty sure, explained last time, I'm not allowed to release anything to the public. I'm just the medical practitioner here.
She's like, yeah, that's true. Can you just tell the sheriff that I stopped by? I've got some weird bit of information about what's going on here.
Sure. You're new here, right?
Yeah, just got in a couple of months ago.
Okay. Well, like I said to my previous guest, this place can be a bit hard to sometimes get your foot in. Yeah, let's say that. So I'm always here to talk. Also, if you have any medical problems, I'm always available as well. I'm kind of the handyman of illness around here, it seems.
Thanks, Doc. I really appreciate that. If you see the sheriff, can you tell him that I'll probably be at the cafe all day today?
The cafe? Sure. I'll let him know.
And she'll kind of just head out the building and she'd just head to the cafe.
Very good. So then that leaves us with Dr. Butterwick for the moment, who now you get to, I'm assuming you never really got to finish a complete exam, had you?
No. Like, literally every time you, uncovered the body, another person would walk into the room. They're like, oh, cover it back up. So, he'll uncover the body, and the strange symbol that he saw when he was covering up the body initially when Tanith came into the room. Could he have a closer look at that?
Yeah. It's the same shape of the little sketch thing that I shared with you, which I put it in your journal as well now, Samantha. And it's probably no bigger than the size of a quarter. Of course, you aren't in America, so you probably have no idea what size.
I have a rough guesstimate.
Like about this big.
Okay.
3 centimeters. And most of the others are of similar size, however, slightly bigger. The one thing that makes this one stand out, other than its uniqueness of shape, is that it also appears to have been wiped clean. The others were cut. This one seems to have been cut and then cleaned so that there was no bleeding around the edge. Maybe just the very tiniest amount of some, but compared to the others that were seeping, this cut is not like that. It's very clean, very precise.
Does it look like it was like an instrument which was done it, or was it cut in? Like, was it a sharp metal object with the shape, or was it just a knife but done expertly?
Being a doctor, you would think that somebody would have had to have had a scalpel or something that was razor sharp It's a nice, clean, thin cut.
Okay.
With
Yeah,
curves, so you have to be
Yeah.
precise.
Yeah. Okay. So he'll just go about examining her, making sure he notes everything down for the deputy sheriff. Just everything he finds about the body, then he'll do. I don't actually know what they do. I'm just kind of making it up.
No, that's all right. You've already seen the cut wounds. Just to clarify your record, you can tell that she's had sex recently, but there's no sign of any trauma in that regard.
Okay.
You do see that she's been strangled, probably with a rope or a cord or some narrow sort of object, because that's the sort of ligature marks that there are. The cuts and I want you to go ahead and make me a observe a situation roll.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're going to look here. I was going to give you this clue anyway, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 1 or 2 follow-up questions just at the end, because this is the last clue for the most
12.
part. Okay. So you also find in her mouth, deep stuffed down in her throat, a handkerchief. And as you pull that out, it is like the Confederate flag. It's not a flag, it's just a thin handkerchief, but it has that design on it.
Okay. I don't know if this is a thing over your side, but is there any name embroidered into the handkerchief?
No.
No. Oh, that would be too easy.
No. I call it a handkerchief. Most of us Americans would call it like a do-rag, like something.
Oh, bandana. Okay.
A bandana, yeah. Type of.
Okay.
thing.
Yeah. I'm with you. Okay.
They were originally supposed to be handkerchiefs, but cowboys in the West, and then they became bandanas.
Okay. Also, just one last thing Robert will do is he'll just close his eyes and just put his hand in front of him, and he'll try and sense just what she, like anything she was feeling before she died. I'm going to try and use my sixth sense to discover a sense a clue that or lead when you are off track of an unknown thing.
Okay. So what does it look like when Dr. Butterwick does that, when he channels this bit of power that he knows he has but may not fully understand?
So pretty much just because some of the shakes have kind of gone away now. He's kind of more calm and collective since he's had his medicine.
Right.
And he just kind of puts his hand on the flat of her stomach and just kind of puts his eyes, and it's just flickering ever so slightly. Just like he's just trying to, he doesn't really know what's happening himself. He just kind of gets this feeling sometimes, where you get the shiver up your spine and you just kind of like just have a feeling. And that's what he's trying to have some sort of remembrance of just anything she was feeling before she died. Just an emotion, if it was hot or cold, if there was wind blowing, just something like that.
What you get when you channel this and try to get a sense of what's going on is a swing in emotions. It starts out like confusing to you because you feel warmth and comfort, like everything was better than okay for a moment, and then it flips and everything is suddenly cold and scared and yeah, that's what you get out of it.
Okay. So he'll put the handkerchief in like an evidence bag. He'll finish his examination, and he'll get out his Nokia flip phone, and then he'll start to type in the deputy's name, and then yes, that's what happens. Like, do I get through to him straight away, or
Oh, who are you calling?
Deputy Lane?
Oh, Deputy Lane. Sorry, I didn't. Your accent caught me for just a second. I don't know. We'll cut over to Deputy Lane. Your cell phone is buzzing or ringing, or how do you have it set?
Yeah, it starts buzzing, and I just kind of like check it quickly. I excuse myself from interviewing Dakota. I'll probably just say goodbye to him. I'll take the phone call.
Lane.
Yeah.
I found something you might be interested in. There was a piece of material. It's probably used as a bandana. I found it in the throat of our unfortunate. It seems to be a Confederate flag. Don't know if that means anything, like, but also I found out that she may have been caught by surprise. It seemed like she was in a comfortable situation from the way her body is in the current state, but she was caught off guard. So I feel like this might have been done by somebody close to her. But it's hard to prove. This is just trying to dot clues together at the minute. I hope that's some help.
Well, it certainly answers, certainly put some more pieces into place, but kind of points to one thing that doesn't sit right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's thank you. Is there anything else?
No. I'll finish preparing the body to be taken to get buried. Everything's prepared. I'll put all the evidence in. I assume there's a locker of some sort.
Yeah, there's one of those little slide-in things. As you've hung up with the deputy then, and when you go back to do that and get ready to you sense you still get a little bit of that feedback from your exchange with her, where you got those senses. Only because I wanted to add on that, yes, there was this sense of comfort and then betrayal. Also, when you go to zip her back up in the bag, you could swear that you saw her stomach move. Like something inside of it moved.
Okay. He'll kind of like step back, and he's just kind of looking at it, and he'll stare at it for a couple more seconds. He's just like kind of like patting his face, just like, how many of these did I take?
I want you to keep it together.
I've got a -1 to this.
You got a -1. I'm sorry.
9.
Ooh. think I would have had that right there.
This is what you get for not passing on the message to me.
Oh, which message? Oh, Samantha's message? He didn't pass that message on either. Oh, yeah, that was it.
Oh, fuck.
So you start to try to get a grip. And as you stare at the stomach, you realize now that it's not just your imagination. It is definitely moving. And it starts to move a lot, almost as if the stomach was filled with bugs or worms or bubbling golf balls, or however your terrible imagination wants to take you, but something seems to be alive inside this girl's stomach. And you really start to think, okay, maybe these pills aren't working. And as you freak out, you go back to the body, and with your hands, you rip open the incisions where you had already taken a look at the organs before, and just tear open this girl's cavity, and inside is nothing. Just her organs, everything the way it was supposed to be, only now your hands are covered in this sticky, gooey blood of a half embalmed dead person. And I need you to mark 2 stability, please. Down 2 stability.
Oh no.
That's the crack. Where does that put you?
1 second. Critical stress. Anxious.
So you kind of just sit down in the corner of your gray concrete exam room. And that's when we will cut to Sabella and Daisy. I don't remember. I had been watching the last episode. I remember you guys talking. You kind of wrapped up your conversation, but I think you were both leaving together, or maybe I'm confusing what you had planned after the episode, that maybe you were leaving together. But I'm just going to kind of throw the ball to you two as you are standing at the front of Sabella's store, or just outside the front of the Blue Rose.
Yeah, Sabella, would you express an interest in going to check it out because of your?
Yeah. Gosh, I'm just trying to remember where we left off with our conversation. I think
I put a gun on your bookshelf.
I think you both shared some of what you knew,
Right.
and knew something was fishy was up, but I don't think you had
Okay.
made any action decisions at that particular point in time.
Daisy, how about you and I go check out maybe if I'm in the place that it happened, maybe I'll be able to see a little bit more, if you know what I mean.
All right. We got to stop by my place, though. I want to get a few bear traps set up out there.
Bear traps?
Yes.
What's that gonna do?
Trap shit.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're driving.
All right. She heads out. Kind of mothers Sabella a little bit, make sure she has a jacket because it's cold, and fusses over her. No. Hello.
I'm fine.
You catch a cold, that's your own prerogative.
Oh, thank you.
I think Dr. Butterwick has other things on his hands, and I'm fucking blue. She kind of grumpily mills about, helps her close up shop, and heads out, opens the door for her, slumps into the seat, offers her a cigarette.
She takes the cigarette.
Lights it, and then she wants to drive on over to her house first to grab a few things.
You
But
think?
she always does this weird thing, and I'm sure Sabella knows it. She always does this weird thing where before going anywhere, she takes the long route. Like she wants to look at the town. Like she's always sort of paranoid that maybe there's like something going on, and so it'll take a little bit for them to get there.
Right. I'm gonna interrupt for just 1 second as you guys are taking your little. She takes her crazy woman cruise, I'll call it, around town.
Woman cruise.
And pulls up in front. I just wanted to do this. I don't know. This just occurred to me. I wish I was like directing a movie, because this is the scene. This is the scene that I would shoot. Because you've pulled up to Daisy's house, and I'm going to ask two things to happen. Daisy, I want you to kind of describe what it's like going from the front of your house, the driveway, up to the house. How you've got that. What it kind of looks like on the outside as far as upkeep, and what that process is like. But we have to have our dun-dun moment, because we never really got to hear what Sabella looks like. So as Sabella gets out of the truck, after we hear the description of the outside so we can frame Sabella, then Sabella, I want you to describe yourself as you traverse from the truck to the front of the house, because I think that would be a cool shot.
All right.
So they take about like a good 20 minutes just like cruising around the town. Daisy's got her arm like hanging out the window, one hand on the wheel, and just like she goes through like 3 cigarettes at least while they're driving around. And she pulls up to it's funny just describing this, because I've seen a lot of houses like this in the Heartland in the Midwest. But it's this big, long-winded driveway, all gravel road. It's got like a mailbox that's dented, probably from neighborhood kids running by and hitting it with a baseball bat. The flag's kind of half there. It's rusty. She turns and goes down a gravel road that's framed by trees, and the grass is kind of wild around the trees, like she hasn't mowed in a while. Like lots of land, like a few acres at least, and she goes down this gravel. It kind of winds just a little bit, and then it ends in just this old rickety house that almost looks abandoned. It's made out of rotting wood. It's got a big porch on it. Looks like it maybe could have been Victorian style at one point, but it's gone through some rough times. Like maybe a tree fell on it in the past and they had to patch it up. So it doesn't look in the best of sorts, but it's a good couple of stories house. Like it's a large house. I guess I haven't talked with you about this, Curtis, but I can see Daisy having a dog, like just a really old dog that she kind of keeps as security and a companion. So I imagine like a really old golden retriever, just like so passed out on the porch it looks almost dead. It's just a mass of fur.
I didn't assume anybody would ever get up in front of Daisy's house without hearing something go woo, woo,
yeah
woo,
yeah
woo.
Exactly. And it kind of raises its head, but it sees her truck and then goes back to sleep. It's not really painted. It's just kind of white chipped paint, and the door is a screen door first, and then a fairly brand new looking door. Like if there's anything that's new about the house, it's the doors and the windows. Like they look new. They look secure. The windows are actually barred.
Right.
But you can't see that from the outside because of the curtains. She's got blackout curtains in every single window. Bars on the inside. The inside of the house is kind of just as rickety. She's got old stairs that creak with every single step when you go up to the top. It's got a basement that's just full of weapons. A kitchen that kind of has like ants and roaches crawling about to and fro. Her bedroom is definitely the cleanest out of the place, and that's upstairs next to a bathroom with like just a huge bathtub and a shower that like doesn't really sprinkle. It just kind of all spurts in one thing of water. So it's just all in all, it's a rundown house that's barely functioning, and
I love it.
she doesn't really seem to care for it that much.
And I'm assuming you both are locals. So, Sabella, you've probably been here once or twice, or you've maybe been here before. So I'm sure that there's no surprise at this old, typical, disheveled country home out in dying town America.
Got like a fireplace and lots of family portraits and stuff.
Right.
around, too.
So, and I'm just assuming that you are a bit of a contrast to this country look as you
yes.
walk from the truck up and into the house.
As she steps out of the truck, the shot I see is her black combat boot crunching on the gravel, and like the top is covered in spikes, and then it's a pan up to some real tight fitting black skinny jeans with rips in the knees and up on the thighs. She has a big, like, baggy hoodie, and it might have some words on it or maybe a logo. She has a couple of necklaces on. A big, thick black choker is definitely visible, along with like some dainty chains, like hanging down a little bit lower. Her hair is like platinum blonde, like it is super, super pale blonde. And it has like just one streak of magenta down on one of the sides. You wouldn't really be able to see it because she's in a hoodie, but maybe on her hand you can see the peak of a tattoo. She has a whole sleeve of black and white tattoos covering her arms. It has stuff like a crescent moon, and one of them is like right on her shoulder, and it's a dream catcher, but instead of like feathers at the end, it's like bones, like maybe like human bones or an animal bone. You know, you can't really tell. There's ravens and like a blue rose with a bunch of thorns and a couple of snakes and some tarot cards like are on the back half. And she has like elaborate art on her arm. It's really cool.
Nice.
She has a, what is it? I always forget. A septum.
Yeah,
septum piercing. And it's just straight black metal.
All right.
Her eyes are like almost burgundy. Like they're like a dark reddish brown color. More red than brown. So yeah, she is definitely the complete opposite of Daisy.
Right.
Other than the tattoos.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was
But she's mostly covered.
what's your mission here, Daisy?
I just want to go in and grab some traps.
Oh, traps. Okay.
Traps.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll just go in with her.
Yeah, they pull up. Daisy exits, flicks a cigarette into the grass carelessly into like a little ditch that's already full of cigarette butts. She walks up to the porch and pets her dog. She's like, "Oh, Beth, you're such a good girl." Pulls out like a ring of keys. And Sabella's probably seen this before, but when she opens the screen door, the brand new door that's there it's very sturdy. It's like a solid black, and it has multiple keyholes. And she spends the next couple of minutes just like flipping through different keys and unlocking every keyhole. Just like another cigarette hanging out of her mouth, and she's just kind of like grumbling under her breath while she does it.
Sabella's just like crouched down, petting the dog while Daisy grumbles over the locks.
But she gets in, and hell yeah, I won the raffle again. Sorry. And then she'll head right on downstairs. Treat yourself. I got lemonade, water, milk. I'd sniff it before you drink it. And she heads on downstairs to grab like just a handful of bear traps in her little bunker she has down there.
Just a handful of bear traps.
Just a handful, like 5.
Yeah, maybe like five bear traps.
5 is a good number.
That's a Missouri handful of bear traps. 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly.
You need to gauge a handful of bear traps.
That's exactly the number.
But it'll be a very brief visit to the house. She'll just grab the traps and then she'll get in and head to State Line Road.
All right. So where were you planning on starting your State Line Road?
She's gonna go to where the
Where the crime is.
happens, the crime scene.
Right. Yeah, it's really just a couple of miles. It doesn't take you less than 5 minutes to get there. And one thing that catches your eye, though, is once you get out on that main State Line Road that sees a little bit more traffic, it hadn't occurred to you before because you saw them on your way into town after having, well, actually on the way out to the body and on the way back, there were roadkill, possums, a raccoon. When you drove by, the one thing that you thought, at first you thought it was a coyote, but then as you're driving along, you're thinking, I wonder if that was a bobcat. Might have been a bobcat, but then you get to the crime scene. So, which is a common occurrence for any person who lives where you live and are out driving the roads all the time. You see roadkill.
Is bobcats a common roadkill?
No, that's not common. It does.
She would probably, if she thinks it's a bobcat, we're probably going to stop and look at that.
Well, I mean, it does happen, but it was off a little ways, and you were on a different mission, having just received a call from the Army personnel of the war. You know what I mean? Your mind was not focused on that. The reason it comes back to you, however, is because now you're back out on that road. You don't have that same thought process going on, and it's triggered the bobcat because the roadkill is starting to become more prevalent to you now that you have a moment to spend some thought on, and you realize now that not only did you think you saw a bobcat, or it could have been a coyote about the same color. They do hit bobcats out there from time to time. I've seen 2 in my lifetime, and there's just a lot of it, a lot more than typical. Like 3 or 4 times as much, really, now that you're actually looking and absorbing. It may even be worse in just the small amount of time that there was between when you were here last and when you're there now.
Okay. Definitely.
But the thought of the bobcat did come back. Did you want to stop and investigate the bobcat or coyote?
Oh, yeah. They're just driving along, and then Daisy suddenly, just slams on her brakes.
What the hell?
Did you see that?
What?
She keeps going a little further, and then sees one of those roads where it's there's 4 ways, and she does a big old donut to turn around.
Oh my god! Where are we going?
That was a fucking bobcat. Did you not? Are you telling me you missed that?
No. I was looking out my side of the window. Was it on your side?
You haven't noticed any of these extra little critters out here?
I mean, I saw that possum a little bit back.
Yeah, did you see the past 3 possums? I mean, finding a possum on this road, I mean, it's like finding a fucking clover in a field, but 3?
I mean, shit gets hit. But
I don't like it.
Well, you don't need a bear trap to get something that's already dead.
Yeah, you noticed that it seemed like a bit, Sabella, but you don't spend a whole lot of time driving around country roads, so you don't know what's normal or what's not.
He just kind of shoots her a side eye for the sass, and she'll pull up and park the car next to the bobcat.
There is actually an armadillo right there at the edge of the road where you pull over that is also dead. And just off beyond the ditch, just right at the fence line in the tall grass is where and it is a bobcat, is dead.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. You get any feeling about these?
Curtis, do I get a feeling about these?
You can.
I have a new advancement.
Oh, does it apply here?
Maybe. I was going to use it for the crime scene, but it's called enhanced awareness. It says when I focus my senses at a location where the illusion is weak, I may be able to discern details regarding the location.
Enhanced awareness, yeah. So, and here's a good little mechanic point to bring up, because everybody's so used to D&D and the limitations of being able to make moves. There, as long as I'm trying to get things spread around so that everybody gets to make a move, and you'll have some poor Chris in Manhattan. I've stomped all over his moves sometimes, but you can make that move here, and if you want to go 5 feet down the road and do it again, you can. There's no spell slots. It doesn't use up any energy. You can do it as much as possible. Just be aware that you're rolling the dice when you do, so there's always a chance that there could be a heavy cost to using the power. That's the catch on your moves. So you can, a lot of these moves, you can use them over and over and over. It didn't work that time, I'm going to roll again. Yeah, if you want to, you can do that. But always remember those 9s. So yes, what was it? It was enhanced awareness.
Yeah. Roll plus soul.
Go for it.
Okay.
A 12. So
Better than a 9.
yeah,
Better than a 9.
you do get some basic impressions regarding the area. What you notice is that none of these animals, as you start to look around, you got the armadillo that's right there, and then you realize there's a possum just like 12, 15 feet down the road. Plus you're looking at the bobcat, which is kind of unique. And what really got you about the bobcat that brought on this whole idea was that there's no blood. There's no smushed animal. Even the ones on the side of the road, they don't look like they've been hit by a car. They're just lying there dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of the car and pull my pistol out of my holster and just go straight up to look at that bobcat.
Yeah, I follow her, and I'm gonna touch it.
No, you're not. If you reach out to touch it, she's gonna throw out her other arm and keep you back.
I really want to touch it. I think.
I don't see any blood on this. You don't know if it's dead or not.
Well, it's not moving. We've been here, what, 5 minutes? We haven't even, it hasn't moved. It's dead. You see it breathing?
Nothing is dead.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Not even that girl we saw this morning. You never know if anything is actually dead or not. Trust me.
It could just be poisoned.
Sabella, you know more than anybody else in this town. Anything could come back. Please, do not touch that.
Jiggle
right.
your mic a little bit, Jaylee. You got soft on us.
Oh, hello.
All right. Well, then she just crouches way down to look at it, like she's staring it in the face.
The bobcat?
Yeah.
It's just
It's on
lying
her.
there. The mouth is
Nothing.
kind of partly open, and the eyeballs are, its eyes are open.
I'm gonna nudge it with my foot.
It seems to have started to gather flies, and it's a little wet and starting to decompose on the underside. Stinks.
It's definitely been here for a minute.
Yeah, when you prod it with your foot, the smell kind of clouds up.
Sabella stands back up and puts her hands on her hips. What are you thinking?
I don't know. We might need to see if the doctor can tell anything at some point. We got other things to worry about. We can come back to this later. Looks like an omen to me.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's definitely pretty weird, especially with all this out here. At first I thought maybe, they just spread some new type of poison out here. But I don't know. It doesn't look natural. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's head on back.
Okay.
To the truck.
Okay.
And if Sabella turns around and heads back, Daisy's gonna back up. She's not gonna keep her eyes off of the bobcat. She's gonna kind of like slowly back up, struck with her gun on it, like watching it to make sure.
Right. Nothing happens.
Come on, Daisy. It's not gonna jump up and spook you.
All right. And then if nothing happens, they'll get back in and keep on going.
Super. So you guys are just about down to the crime scene, and we're going to cut back to Tanith real quick, because you, when we last saw you, you had just departed the municipal building. What was your next destination? I surprised him. He was like, what? It's my turn.
Next destination. It's a toss-up. I'm either gonna. What time is it? Sorry, in the world that we're in.
About mid-morning, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yeah, most of these events, what happened with Dr. Butterwick took a little bit of time, so we're kind of going back and watching what everybody did during about the 10 to 11 window at this moment.
I'm going to go to Sabella's bookshop. No, Daisy's house. I want to find Daisy. You
can do a drive-by on both places as you search for whereabouts.
Okay, so I'll drive by in the non-suspicious white van.
Yeah, you don't actually see Daisy's truck until you get to where her road is, and just as you're about to turn down what you think is her drive, you just take a casual look to your left, and then you catch the tail end, what you think is of her truck, down the road making a turn. So if you would like to follow her, you can do a little 3-point there at the turn and head the other direction.
A little 3-point, and I'll stalk Daisy's car for a while.
So you actually get to see. Then you're about 4 minutes behind them. So you are coming up on them as they're finishing up their look at the dead animal and walking back to the truck. So you see them actually, because there's not a lot of trees out along this particular road. It's a fenced off, fielded area. So you can see them from about, a quarter of a mile away.
Okay, I'll drive up. I want to talk to Daisy anyway.
Okay.
So I'll drive up and park behind them.
So yeah, as you guys
they're probably in the truck by now, getting ready to leave, and Daisy kind of looks up in her rear view mirror.
Yeah.
What the?
Who's that?
I think I know. I don't know why he's. You stay right here. I'll go see what he wants.
Okay.
Truck stops. Tanith gets out, lights his cigar as usual, and as Daisy jumps out and starts marching towards him, he'll just wait for her.
Yeah, she does just that.
Hey, Daisy. I saw you leave your house, so I followed you. I got something to talk to you about. Look, the girl, yeah, she her family. What do you know about her family?
Well, the Housers, they're what you'd call rich folks in this area. I try to stay out of it. We could have met up somewhere, like bait shop or something. I'm kind of.
I don't have your phone number. I don't know how to the only place. I just
Right
went to
now.
your house to see if I could find you. And I want to talk to that girl in the bookstore as well. Got some stuff I want to look up.
She's not currently at the bookstore.
Okay.
About that moment.
I don't know where she is. Maybe she's doing some readings or something. I don't know,
Sabella
Tanith.
pops out of the truck.
God damn it.
Is she
Doing a reading.
slams the door?
It's a strange place to do readings, Daisy.
You can do readings wherever, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a psychic.
She comes up
So
right
suspicious.
next to Daisy.
Sabella,
Hey,
Seemed like you were
Sabella, this
taking
is
a little long.
Tanith. Yeah, this is Tanith right here.
Hello.
Anna,
Nice to
he
meet
puts
you.
his hand out. He puts his hand out, but he holds it palm up to shake your hand.
She like reaches out, but she doesn't really know what to do with your hand, so I guess she just places her hand on top of yours.
And he takes your hand, he takes his cigar out, and he bends down and he gives it a kiss.
Oh,
He says,
All
pleased
right.
to meet you. I'm Tanith.
okay.
And,
Nice to meet you.
You're the girl that owns the bookstore, yeah?
Yep, that's me. I'm Sabella.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 22. Why?
Just interested. I'm always interested.
In my age?
In your, I don't know. You should know that. In your fecundability.
Okay. Takes back her hand.
He said, "Look, your bookstore and the things, the signs outside. When I put my thing up there for the yoga,
Mhm.
I noticed you had some books about, alternative practices and stuff like that.
Yeah, I dabble in it.
And he says, look, I'm trying to research a symbol.
Okay. Type of symbol.
Um,
Got a lot of
well,
those.
he says, hang on a minute. And he goes back to his van and goes inside and rummages around in the back, and he comes out with a crunched up old bit of paper and a pencil. And he
Kinda
draws the
gives
symbol.
Daisy a side eye while he's doing all this.
Yeah, she's kind of like shaking her leg, and she keeps glancing over at the bobcat body like it's some kind of zombie, and she clearly does not want to be there.
He comes back out and he draws the symbol that he saw on the girl's body. And he says, this.
I have added that to your journal, Sabella, so you should
Thank you.
It says symbol cut into neck.
And this is along with the crosses and the swastikas?
No,
Yeah.
he didn't say where it was from. He
didn't tell you that. That's just the symbol.
Okay. All right.
But since you were listening, you already know.
Yeah.
He said, look, it's, from my understanding, it's from a blood cult.
Hmm.
But I need to know some bit more information and if it's got any relevance to this local area.
Okay. Curtis, can I do a thing? Can I roll for that with my occult library?
Yes, you can. Let me. And well, no, you can't yet because you're not there.
Ugh, dang it. Okay.
When you actually go to physically
To
do
my
the
bookstore.
research, you can do it.
Okay. Can I take this piece of paper, Tanith? And
Yeah.
I'll get back with you on that?
Sure. Well, we could, I could meet you at your place.
Oh. Well, yeah.
During business hours.
Definitely. Yes.
Ah, Daisy, you're so suspicious. Just relax a bit, you know? Such a beautiful woman, but you're so uptense, Daisy.
You don't know me.
Nah, that's true.
And I
Maybe
don't know you, Tanith. What? I'm curious. I have some questions for you, but I don't like standing here. Do you want to go on a little field trip, Tanith?
As long as it's not out in the bush with you and one of your guns. I don't want to do the long walk with you,
Oh,
Daisy.
that was a good one. No, it's fine. We're gonna go back to Old State Road, kind of check out where the girl was murdered. I'm sure you have some interest in that. Maybe I can find out more about specifically what your interests are as you join me in my truck in the back seat by yourself with Sabella in front next to me.
He laughs. It's just, sure. Let me lock my truck.
We'll bond, Tanith.
Daisy, you don't even know it yet, but we already have.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go
Alright,
get in the
whatever
truck
you
now.
say.
Okay. And she just turns around and she goes to the truck.
And Tanith goes, locks his truck, grabs a couple more cigars, chucks them in his pocket, and grabs his phone, and then locks his truck up and goes and joins Daisy.
Daisy's gonna grab like a glove out of her jacket, and she's gonna go grab the. I want to grab the armadillo by its tail and just toss it in the bed of the truck,
Okay.
and then I'll slip into the driver's seat and head on over.
Daisy, can I have another cigarette?
Yeah, of course.
Want a cigar?
No, I think cigarettes enough nicotine for me.
He just hands
He
her
lights
a
his
whole
lighter
pack.
and goes, here, let me.
Okay, thank you.
Holds the light up for you.
Which is
Daisy also holds the light up.
Stressed.
Uh-oh. This is, I'm
she just
liking
holds
this.
the cigarette out, and whoever gets to it first can
I
light
feel
it.
like they both.
Just keep in mind, everybody, here's a potential dramatic hook fodder for later on down the road. Which is a perfect spot because we need to check back with well, Dr. Butterwick is cowering in tears in his medical lab at the moment, trying to not break completely. Samantha is waiting patiently at the coffee shop for some information. The good news is, Samantha, they do have Wi-Fi there, so if you've got your laptop or your tablet or anything like that, you do have access to piddle around on that stuff while you're there to do any extra research or stuff like that. And we haven't really got to deal with Dan too much yet. So, Deputy Clark, were you finished with
Curtis
Dakota?
froze right at that moment.
Curtis.
What?
Dad.
I'm here.
Curtis.
What happened?
Papa Curtis.
Did the stream go off?
Oh,
he's
there you
back.
are.
I'm still here.
Yay.
Yes.
gone.
Okay.
I was watching. I was watching you guys go. Where'd you go? I was saying I'm still here. But I did notice the little red light down. Oh, the little red light. It's green now. Okay. A little something happened. So I was just about to say, I needed to find out, Dan, if you did you have more questions for Dakota? Because I think we kind of left on that hanger.
The last question I would have for Dakota is if Emma was involved in the church or any spirituality.
She had just started going to the light of life.
Start going to the light of life.
About 3-4 weeks back.
Any chance she went on that day? Yesterday?
No, not that I'm aware of. So it's a Monday. She wouldn't have gone there.
Yeah, that's all I have for Dakota right now. Now, while I could go talk to Ray, I don't know.
You don't really want to talk to Ray right now.
I don't want to, and I'm not sure what I'll particularly get out of it. I'd rather go to him more prepared.
Right.
I'm gonna do something I very much want to do, which is I want to go back to the exam room, see if I missed anything.
Oh, yeah, and you did get your phone call from Dr. Butterworth.
Yeah, and he like gave me like a couple things. I want to see it with my own eyes.
Okay. So, yeah, you drive back into town. My little light's red again, so if I cut out or something, it's
All good.
it's due to weird internet, apparently. I'm not sure what's happening there. Anyways, so yeah, you drive back to town. It's not really that far away. Everything is within about 5 minutes out here of each other. So you go back in, and Dr. Butterworth is cowered, a mess on the floor, like hunched up in the fetal position or something, probably.
Okay, and what is the state of the body?
It is still on the table.
Uh-huh.
It has been ripped open. You can see where it had been stitched closed, and there is, of course, blood and residue, more than one might expect, on the hands and person of Dr. Butterwick. I just like saying Dr. Butterwick. I told myself I was going to say Robert this episode, and I just keep saying Dr. Butterwick.
I think I'm in shock for a good minute.
Why don't you roll Keep It Together for me then?
Yeah.
I know we might both freak out.
This it can happen.
Oh. Keep It Together is what stat? Is
willpower.
Oh, it's willpower.
Yeah.
All right, this will go well. Nope. Nope.
Oh, good. Oh, very
Oh
good.
boy.
You walk in the room, and well, it is just that. I mean, you're already a little bit shaken by the occurrences.
Yeah.
You've been this close to a flashback for 2 episodes already that I know you are aware of, Dan, because you know that disadvantage exists. You've just been waiting for it to happen. Now you've walked into the medical exam on just what you think is going to be a 5 or 10 minute visit to gather up a little bit of new information. You walk into the room, and it looks just like it does, like the man that you know and trust has torn open the body that he was sewing shut, or hadn't even really gotten into the last time you saw him, had just started the process. And it freaks you out, and you don't go to the floor sobbing and crying, but you are literally frozen in shock. And just through process of elimination, then that takes me back to the coffee shop. Because yeah, Deputy Clark is pretty messed up. Oh, you also need to take away a stability.
Just one.
Oh wait, 2 stability on
2.
a 9.
Great. I am unfocused.
Yeah, you are in a panic with no control over your actions at the moment. You suffer some emotional trauma because this is the first time you've seen a body that looks like it's been ripped open. It's not quite life-changing trauma at this particular point, but so Samantha, depending on how patient you are, you said you were going to stay here for the day. If that is the case, what is it that you would like to look for on the internet, or is there anything that you've got Wendell? He's the one working today. He keeps filling up your coffee or your water or whatever it is you like to drink, and has offered you, of course, breakfast and then lunch if you stay that long.
Yeah, she definitely probably stayed long enough to have had lunch by now. She's also drinking all of Wendell's coffee. And she's just kind of on the internet at the moment. She's looking up that symbol that she was given earlier, seeing if she could find it anywhere.
You do find just a couple of very brief references, and it does link back to a blood cult. But the only descriptive words that you can find attached to that is ancient. And there's no name, and really no paragraphs of text. You found 2 instances of where you find a similar symbol, and that's just how it's referred to. And it's always just as an example when it's talking about other cults and things like this, or architecture or archaeology, looking up those sorts of findings. And that's really it. Even an unknown on the other one. So you've got ancient and unknown, but blood cult is attached to both of them.
Yeah, in that case, she would do some research on the church. Do they have a website or anything?
The Light of Life?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. It is a non-denominational church. Its pastor is the Reverend Abernathy Page, Paige. Let's see. Yeah, they are. There's a picture of him I just shared with you. It's not a huge church. They don't have like a big fancy building. It's mostly just kind of like a metal building, a beige metal building. Looks like it could hold a couple hundred people, but it only boasts a congregation of 75. And it's non-denominational. It's a Bible church is what it refers to, about that they follow the Bible and the teachings of Jesus Christ. And it's all about that. It does have a page for their youth ministry, which apparently seems to be a big chunk of what they've got going on. There's pictures of them playing volleyball and basketball and that sort of stuff, all with T-shirts and smiles. And then there's a little bit on some Bible verses and all the real generic smile, come improve your life, join our church sort of.
Was Emma in any of those pictures?
You didn't see Emma in any of those pictures.
Are they like one of those kind of filing system pen and paper type churches?
That's an interesting descriptor I have never heard before. They don't seem like it from the website. It seems like a pleasant. The pastor, although he looks a bit intense, does have a smile on his face, but of course all the snapshots of any of the congregation members or any of the kids on the youth page, they all seem smiling and happy, and it's come join us, blah blah blah.
Oh, no, I was asking because I was going to try to hack into their network, but I didn't know if they had one.
Oh, okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
No problem.
You can, let's see, do you have a move that works for that? Do we consider this? Let me take a look. Oh, hacker. Well, not that you would be able to, like, if they had their own system or anything, but you could try to get some backdoor information on them if you like.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll plus reason. A 10.
Better than a 9.
It is a little bit. Okay, so I will. First of all, yeah, you get to get some information, but then there is going to be a complication. So, are you looking for financial stuff? What would you like to know? And I'll tell you.
Just kind of some information on their leader, Mr. Page here.
He seems to be a mystery. There's no real information about any sort of ancestry, where he's from. It just looks kind of like he's just appeared out of nowhere. About 10 years ago, he was doing the same thing in another small town in the Midwest, about a day's drive away from your location now. And he just started this church within the last few years, has been building the congregation. Of course, there's no tax information because everything is through the church. No tax information on him. He seems like a ghost before about a decade.
Does it have the name of the town?
Yeah, it's how fast can Curtis pull a town name out of his ass? It's a town called Chillicothe, which is an actual town in Missouri. I don't know if that's the right distance away, but we're dealing with a fictional place anyway, so.
Karma.
Yeah, so she'd take note of that, and she'd just kind of write it down and put it to the side for later. There's just one last thing she kind of wanted to get done today. She's going to try to figure out who called her or did something from that.
How were you wanting to do that?
I do not know, because he called it was an unknown number, wasn't it?
Yeah. I want to do this. This will be really cool. And because I'm the GM and I can just do shit like this if I feel like it. That's what I love about the game Kult. I don't have to roll. I just decide to do it. You have the experience. It's not that it's not part of the storyline. Hacker is one of your things. You've also got dark web abilities, so you have experiences, and you have designed a character that allows you to pull out your little USB plug, and you've got the right software on your laptop or whatever, and you can plug in your phone and try to do this little technical back channel thing, because there's a little software that exists that you found, that you bought, and that can do that. And while you are fiddling around with that, going through all the little stuff, trying to do your little hacker thing on your laptop, is when you get just this really weird, just like a DOS window, if you even know what that means, where it pops up, and you got the little blink, 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 just black,
Oh, no.
like, old 80s movies looking, and the letters scroll out across the screen. What are you looking for?
I knew it. I knew it was going to be something bad. Is there a place for her to reply?
Yeah, just a little blinking cursor.
She'll just reply. She'll say you.
Looks like you found me.
But has she though? She's gonna say. She's gonna ask him again. Why are you doing this?
Doing what? You knocked on my door.
And she's gonna reply. You called me.
He replies, touche.
And she's just gonna say, maybe I can help you.
That would be nice.
Why are you doing this? I can't help if I don't know why.
God wants it.
Who's God?
God.
No questions. I do not know. She's gonna say, why these places?
What places?
The road, the barn.
Need to be seen. And the barn is a holy place.
And she'll just go, well, why contact me?
You have the people's ear.
And she'll go, I'm sure the deputy does as well.
Just a question mark comes back. Don't know the deputy, but I know you.
And to that, she'll just reply, how? And she'll kind of look around the coffee shop.
It blinks, and you get an uncomfortable silence. And then the answer comes, I'm an old friend of the family.
And yeah, she's just kind of stumped now. She's just kind of staring at her screen. And then she'll type in, what does that mean? In bold and with exclamation points at the end.
The answer comes back, you know, period, 3 days, period.
And she'll try one more time to try to kind of get some information from him. And she'll go, who?
Yeah, that's the last you get out of him. Nothing comes back.
Yeah, she'll kind of look around, sigh, but she won't leave yet because she's still waiting for someone.
Okay. That's understandable. I'm almost afraid to, but I'm going to go back to the medical office. The exam room, it's barely really an office. Just a really basic exam room with a grisly scene. At this point, yeah, Dr. Butterwick, you're starting to come to your senses a little bit, and Deputy Clark, you too. You don't gain any stability, but you're not frozen in fear any longer. but there is an awareness between the both of you as to what the situation looks like.
Yeah, it's gonna start with a achy grab for my gun.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Then Bullock kind of reacts to you being in the room, but not really. And he's just like rocking back and forward, going, "It wasn't my fault. It wasn't. I didn't mean to. I tried. It wasn't. I tried to help her." And then he just starts mumbling gibberish after that point.
That's all you're okay. Fuck. I will Yes, you gotta say something to me here, Doc. What the fuck is this? Why? Talk me through it.
Oh, hang on a second. Say that again. I think your mic cord is rubbing on the. Or no, somebody. I keep hearing rubbing.
Hello? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're a little muffled. That's weird. Just like a connection or something. Oh, there you go. I think that.
Hello?
Yep.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much better.
And he just kind of like glances at you and goes, there was something inside her. I don't know what. It was moving.
Well, where is it?
I don't know.
Look at the. Can I steel myself and kind of look at the body?
Yeah, it's Emma's body, still laid out on the table like you had seen it. Only, her clothes have been removed. She's obviously just gone through the autopsy. The bag that she would have been sealed up in is been placed back under her as if he was about to close her up, but her incisions where he had gone in and checked out the organs and done all of that stuff had just ripped open. Her chest is literally like a scene out of the Alien. It's flopped open. You can see where the stitching has torn, because the stitching is that, it's that real heavy stuff. So the string didn't break. It ripped from the edges of the flesh where he had sewn it. So it's a mangled mess along. You can see where, the organs and stuff have been messed with a little bit, but there doesn't seem to be, there's nothing moving around inside of it.
Right. So you saw something in the body and you did this?
I was trying to help.
She's.
I didn't know what else to do. It felt. I don't know. And at this point, he's grabbing in his pocket and just taking more pills.
As you dump your pill into your hand, however you do it, and as you put it up to your mouth, you realize you've got blood and stuff. You put a red fingerprinted pill into your mouth.
Straight in, without hesitation.
Right. So Lane's having an internal crisis. All right. I'm gonna cuff you right now. Is that okay?
No. Oh, stay away. You're,
Oh, God, you're right.
Hang on a second. Yeah, static. Yeah, the static's
Yeah.
gone. Say something.
Spooky static monster.
And except now we can't hear you.
Oh,
It's like the microphone's gonna quit on us here for a second. Give him just a moment.
I think I'm gonna forcibly handcuff him.
Can't hear you.
I have to do something about this.
Okay, all right. You
Oh,
drop.
we lost him.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm not gonna mess with anything because if he comes right back in, I'll just have to reshuffle.
This is a dramatic point.
Yeah, I know. It's like we're all on the edge.
I'm gonna have to cuff you,
uh.
and he just disappears.
I know, even me, like, oh, that's what he did. He's about to get handcuffed. So what does he do? He's like, oh no, I'm not getting handcuffed. Watch
Not
this.
today.
I'm gone.
Today.
Oh, there we go. He's back. I see him. Oh, say again.
can you hear me?
I can
Yes.
hear you.
Yes, so clearly.
Great. All right, Chief.
Yeah, you're
I'm
a
gonna
little
try.
bit you're a little bit soft, so speak up just a little bit. But we're getting close to the end, so
Robert, I'm not saying then right now, but you gotta see how this looks.
I was doing what you asked. Didn't have to do this.
I look at the body. I'm asked.
Are you a doctor? Do you know this isn't what needs to be done?
Yeah, I'm gonna cuff you. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
He's squirming.
as,
I'm gonna force him into cuffs.
as you go and you click those cuffs closed,
Wait, 1 sec. Before he does, could I try and use contagious insanity?
yes.
As I have my gun drawn, yeah, sure.
Oh boy. You see how
Um,
excited Curtis got?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Roll a soul. Okay,
Yeah,
You or
Oh.
me?
me.
it's him.
Good. Oh, thank God.
Oh wait, but no, it's bad. The higher I get, the worse it is for you.
Oh. Okay.
All right, yeah. So make your roll plus soul.
Ooh,
Yes.
I think that's good for you.
Let's see.
You intended to intended victim's own terror. It backfires onto you.
This is not
It's
good
you?
for you.
I get the dark secrets of your opponents manifest within inside myself.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what happens when you, in your panic, you go to that dark place inside you, and in the flight or flight moment to spread your insanity to Deputy Clark, what happens is something much different, and you experience a flash of a lot of scary things, and are instilled with even more panic and fear. You see another murdered girl in your mind's eye. You see multiple people doing the killing of said person. You see an old sheriff, a flash of him, and blood splatters, and you see and you feel just your cold, trembling fear, just shaking, uncontrollable fear. And I need you to keep it together.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Right, one sec. What's my modifier for this now? -1.
Yeah, you're at a -1 already.
Yeah.
Oh, and because you're down 2.
Critical. Yeah.
Then
Uh.
that's oh no, you're not there yet. Okay, if you go down to irrational, then you lose another 2. But
13.
yeah, a 13. You are you lose 1 more stability.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
You are immediately riddled with sadness and guilt. And Deputy Clark, he's no longer going to put up a fight against the handcuffs.
Great. I'm going to handcuff him and put him in a whatever private room no one can get in.
You almost have to carry him. He has, at this point, almost no personal will of his own to do anything other than just cry and freak out. And he looks to be in shock and is pale. And as you are bent down, getting ready to deal with him and pull him into another room, is when you hear a pounding at the double metal doors that go to the back of the building where the body would be loaded in and out, opposite the entrance to the medical exam from the front. Somebody's knocking.
The doors of the same in the medical exam room.
Yeah, you're kneeling down because Dr. Butterwick has crumpled back down to the floor. My glasses are trying to fall apart on me at the last minute as I do this. Everything's coming apart at the last.
Mhm.
And as you are cinching the handcuffs and making your decision as to, am I going to put him in another room or wherever it is that you want to move him to safety, is when you hear pound, 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 pound on the doors. I'm blind.
Yeah. Okay. I handcuff Butterwick to is there something very sturdy in the room?
Yeah, there's like steam pipes that run up from the floor from the boiler room.
Great. I handcuff him to that.
Some small
Then
ones.
I will leave this room and lock it. And I will go meet whoever is knocking at that door.
Oh, you're going to go around the building?
Yeah, I'm
from
not.
outside.
No.
Okay. So as you exit the front of the building, everything seems normal. You can go around the building to an alleyway that leads to the back of the municipal building where the body would have been offloaded. And as you go back there, you see the truck of Ray Hauser. At the door, however, you don't see Ray Hauser. You see what appears to be like this hang on a second. There's a woman, kind of old, probably in her 60s. It's no, it's not his wife. His wife is older. They're both in their 50s, I believe. But she's much more done up. This woman she reminds you of like if you had seen like some old European nun on TV in some old movie without the habit. Dark dress that goes all the way down to about her ankles. Fully sleeved dress. With a little bit of a white fringe edge to it. And then there appears to be what looks to be 2 large farmhands, 2 guys that you have not seen, although they look rather large. But they've got, one of them's wearing jeans and a flannel, the other one's in overalls and a t-shirt. And when you come around the corner, are you just going to come right up on them or... They're just standing at the back door knocking. I mean, they're going to notice you in a moment.
And it's just them. There's no one in the truck.
No, there's no silhouette of a person that you can see.
I don't have any blood on me, do I?
No blood. You didn't ever touch the body. You were too freaked out.
How can I help?
We're here to collect Amisu.
Well, unfortunately, the medical examination isn't quite over.
Both of those big farmhands turn and look. And the little old lady. Well, Ray said it'd be ready by now, so I expect we best get this back to Ray.
I'm sure Ray did say that. Unfortunately, the investigation is currently still ongoing, and well, I can't just let the body go yet.
Now, as you stand there and this little lady, you're telling her these things, you're still trying to deal with the fact that even, in game terms, you've lost some stability here recently, have had some shock and freak out moments. As these words are coming out of your mouth, you see her turn and start walking towards you. Not menacingly, she's just kind of doing her little slow walk. You get some sense of her age. She doesn't look as old as it seems she should be, because she's got a little bit of a limp in her gait and a little bit of a hunch to her as she gets closer. And when you get the last of your sentence out of the last words is about the time she's face to face with you. She's considerably shorter than you by almost 10 inches. And she's looking up at you, and you see that her eyes are just this really, really pale gray. It's creepier and creepier the closer she got. But now she's looking at you directly in the eyes. And just with this crippling fear that engulfs you as these words come out of her mouth. If we don't get the body now, the worms are going to take it. That won't be good for any of us. And that's where we're going to end today's episode.
Get the body now, the worms are going to take it. Cool.
See, the doctor was just trying to help.
The three of us are just off on a little field trip, and all this is going on.
Yeah, it's worms.
You're like, let's go set some bear traps and have passive-aggressive custody over Sabella's attention.
Well, we all know, especially you two who've played Kult before, that anytime you go to the scene of something terrible, there's still a possibility of something, a tear in the illusion. Woo! Oh, what a good session. I had fun. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Very much.
I know it was sort of broken up. This is, we kind of do it a little vignette style with the Heartland. Poor Samantha, she's still sitting there on her laptop at the coffee shop, making small talk with Wendell. Luckily, he's good for local news. So if there's anything you want, any other local information that you can think of that you want to know, you spend a couple hours with Wendell, you've got it. You've earned it, if nothing else. So. Where's my little outro? Oh, I don't have it. Okay, fine. So, great. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun too. Let's go around the table real quick. Everybody can do a quick reaction if you want to, or make a plug for yourself or your kitty cat. And we'll start with that one, and we'll start with Sabella.
Hello, my name is Krista. That was awesome. I'm excited about these worms. Catch me as Blythe on the other Kult on Friday night, and also on my Instagram, Krista the Barista, and also you can find my sweet, sweet Binks, aka Babadook, aka Binks the Black Cat on Instagram for all of his adventures.
Fantastic. Yes, we have got several cats that we share Instagrams for on a couple different shows, which is absolutely fantastic. All right, let's jump down to poor Samantha. We left her sitting in the coffee shop with Wendell and local small town Providence. Small talk. All my words jumbled up together there at once.
Yeah, Sammy's kind of freaking out a little bit now. Her past seems to be kind of catching up to her. But she's still here waiting for the sheriff patiently. Yeah, other than that, I put you guys on Saturday, where I am currently mourning the deaths of all of my friends.
The surviving member of Curse of Strahd on Saturday nights. Yes, I also play in that game. My character died, and we lost 2 others as well. It was... I heard Blake call it the Hell House, and now I know why, because we didn't even want to go in the place, but we did. So that'll teach us. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you there. And so let's we're gonna go catty corner up to Daisy.
Hi, my name is Jaylee. I play Daisy Hamilton, and I also am Harvey Winston on our Friday night Kult game, Manhattan. Yeah, I love Kult. It's so much fun. I've always been a big fan of D&D. I've only ever played 5th edition, but I like the role play that this game has to offer.
Mhm.
It's a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I love it.
Free flowing.
You can find me on Twitter at Jahoy_Matey, and now I have a cat at my place too, and who knows, maybe I'll start an Instagram for him too.
It seems to be the thing. Yes. And
Right.
speaking of a love for Kult, that's a perfect segue to go right down below, because Matthew Tanith Flannery is our TTRP Kult fanatic. Fell in love with Manhattan, had to get into a game, bought the book, and here you are in the Heartland.
Yep. First thing I got to say is I was right. I knew it had something to do with the family and the church. And now I can't believe that the cop has left the poor doc handcuffed in a room with a mangled body with hellworms in it while he's off his head. You're going to come back and he's going to be eaten alive by worms.
Oh
Poor.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
No, I'm Matthew. I played Tanith, the only good character who's nice and calm and not creepy and completely misunderstood.
Right.
No. Don't put your hands out. Sabella is an evil. We all know that.
I'm an
Burn the
angel.
witch.
I also play in a Saturday game.
Yeah.
Saturday game?
Yep,
Yeah,
Saturday
Saturday
morning.
game. Adventure with Advantage with the DM Opal. You can see that as well. This is great. Yeah, Colt. Keep going, Curtis. The worms, you just starting to get honest with this as well.
Yes, very creepy indeed. Yes, Saturday morning, Adventure with Advantage and DM Opal. That's the other game. That's a good one. You guys should check that out too. It's nice on Saturday morning, just like getting up and watching Saturday morning cartoons for me. And we're going to jump up then to the other person who is in the latest time zone. Tanith is in the earliest time zone, if that makes sense. It's actually tomorrow for him from my point of view. But we're going to jump up and go back up to Dr. Robert Butterick.
Hey, I'm Reese. I play. He was the good doctor. Now he's just kind of like a husk of a thing. Yeah, stuff happened. It escalated pretty quickly. He thought it was a good idea to try and push his insanity on somebody else. He just exploded his mind. So stuff happens. But unfortunately, you guys won't see me for 2 weeks because I am disappearing to the other side of the world. So,
Oh, that's
who
right.
knows what will happen to the doctor?
Oh,
There's a vacation coming up. Yeah, poor Dr. Butterwick it's been kind of going downhill even since last session. We thought we were gonna get out of it, but it got worse again.
It's easy for Curtis, though. He can put the doctor in a sanitarium for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
There you go. That's all.
definitely. The guys with the straitjackets are right behind the Hausers there to pick up the body. And what are the other shows that you're in with us?
I'm in the Waterdeep game, which is tomorrow.
Yes,
with the good gentleman
Waterdeep.
just below me.
That's right. Another perfect segue. Waterdeep on Thursday nights, and the DM of Waterdeep on Thursday nights is our very own and beloved Deputy Sheriff Lane Clark.
Hello. Yeah, this was just every hour of this day brings it more and more into line as the worst day of Lane's life. It's getting there. It's getting close. Every new scene, I feel a new sense of dread deep in my stomach of, oh, how do I have to deal with this bullshit?
Oh, perfect. I'm doing my job then.
Yeah. You can watch us tomorrow for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. They will hopefully finally be finding this missing man, Floon Blagmar. So
I am excited to find Floon because I bet he looks just like the cocktail napkin drawing.
I hope he does.
Which I love. I mark out for that every time that pops up on the screen. It's my favorite part of the show. I love it. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, players, for playing with us today. Thank you out there for watching us today. If you watch us later on YouTube, thank you for doing that. Make sure that you hit the little thumbs up and subscribe. All of our shows go to on demand for free on YouTube. So go watch them over there. And if you like what we do, you can support us. The best way is through word of mouth. Tell your friends, other people that you know who might like hearing some crazy story. Maybe they're not into playing, but you can put us on the drive to work and listen to us that way. So word of mouth. Go to Twitter, Facebook. We have @/TTRP, both of those places. Give us the likes, follows, all that good stuff. If you really want to contribute and become part of the team, you can go to our Patreon. For as little as $1, you can get in on the ground floor of what we are building here, which is some pretty compelling stories. And the next best way, of course, is through our Discord group, where you can chat with any of these people that you see on the screen, including me. You can hear some behind the scenes conversations about what goes on when people are trying to pick new characters and replace dead ones. So all of that sort of behind the scenes sort of stuff goes on there, as well as some good conversations about roleplay, TTRP in general, and even just pictures of cats. So join us in Discord. That's all there. And I think that's all the plugs I've got. No. What do we got coming up? We got Land of Dark Dreams tonight at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. DM Opal and that group. That's going to be exciting and fun. Tomorrow, we've got the new show during the daytime, Scald's Tale. That's our Pathfinder 2E, which is exciting. They just premiered last week, so it's not too late to get in on the ground floor and watch and see where that story. They've been at a carnival or something, doing games and feats and having competitions and picking up a few clues, I bet, along the way. But it seemed like all fun and games so far, but I bet it's going to get it's going to pick up. I imagine something bad's going to happen, would be my guess, but hey, what do I know? And then let's see, then we got Waterdeep tomorrow night with Dan. Come back and see him. That show is one of my favorites. I don't like to play favorites, but I like it better than my own sometimes. And then Friday, we're back with Kult again, Manhattan at night. Then Saturday, we got Tanith again in the morning with Adventure with Advantage. And then we'll see what happens with all those dead characters Saturday night on Curse of Strahd. So that's the rest of the week here at TTRP Theater. Thank you for coming by and watching. And as we always like to say, no matter what the time is, shit, now I've lost it.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, sweet dreams, and we love you.
Love
You
you.
always
Goodbye,
say it,
everybody.
and you
Thank
don't
you.
even know it.
I know. I fucked it up. I fucked it up.
You
Good
guys
night,
have to
sweet
say it.
dreams. We
Everyone
love
You
you.
have to say it back.
Good night, sweet
Everyone has
dreams,
to
and we
say it.
love you.
Good night. We
You
love
don't
you.
say it.
No, you have to say it.
Your
And then I'm
firstborn will
saying it.
die.
That's all
Night.
right.
Everybody say it. All
Good
together.
Night.
night.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Dreams.
Sweet dreams.
I love you.
We love
I love you.
All right.
Thank you.
Wave
Okay.
Reese, you didn't say I love you. Say it back.
Good God.
Reese, say it back.